Hi, my name is Kelly Amos and I'm a fitness and nutrition specialist, and today I am answering one person's question, Andy Lewis, but it's going to touch on my friend Diane's question as well. And Andy's question was about breakfasts, and Andy's a dentist and he owns his own practice, and he wants to know of what the best breakfast is that will stick with you until lunch. And hi Lisa. And that is, it's a very, the whole breakfast thing I'm going to talk about a little bit. You probably think that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and so you really need to eat your breakfast. And that's not actually true. It really is an individual preference. And I've never been a big breakfast eater. I have a shake every morning and I don't have it right away. My daughter, all of her life, the second she walks down that hall from her bedroom, she's basically ready for breakfast. My son prefers to wait a little bit longer. So we each have our own kind of rhythm or way we like to work, and that actually is something that is fine. It's whatever you like and whatever works for you. One thing I do want to say about that is I have worked with people and I have tried to get them to have something for breakfast. Heather, when you listen to this, I'm talking to you. But that's more because they skip breakfast and then they might feel a little bit hungry later, but they work through that hunger and they end up not eating much for the entire day. And so if you're like that, where you're hungry for a little while, but then you're kind of getting used to not eating, that's when it is important that at least if we start your day with some good nutrients, and it doesn't have to be food that you chew and swallow, it can be a shake, but if you start your day with good nutrients. So, hi JC, hi Tammy. Let's talk about Andy and wanting to have something to stick with him. So the foods that, as far as your breakfast goes, the foods that if you want something to stay with you longer, then you want to look for fiber, fat, lean protein, and complex carbohydrates. And with the fiber and the fat, they're gonna stay with you longer. They're gonna help you to feel more satisfied. With the fiber, you can actually maybe not eat as much because it's more filling. Again, sticking with healthy fats, those are two things that are going to slow down the digestive process, so it's going to stay with you for longer. Again, lean protein and complex carbohydrates. Now, the mistakes that you can make are that you're eating processed foods. So if processed foods are not going to help you, those are more anti-nutrients. So basically what you're doing is you're not nourishing your body. You're just putting stuff that is going to hinder you basically for the rest of the day and life. And so having processed foods, having your microwavable little things is not a good idea. Even the yogurt with the fruit added, there are so many chemicals and things in there, it's just not natural. And of course, making a mistake of having too many carbohydrates, and that's the obvious things like Pop-Tarts and donuts. Those aren't breakfasts, those are treats, and so nobody gets a treat for breakfast. So not starting your day with those, but a lot of people will grab a bagel, maybe a piece of toast, some pancakes or waffles. Those are muffins. A muffin is also, if you're buying your muffin from somewhere, most likely it's a treat as well. Now, I do have there are a ton of wholesome recipes out there. Hi Karen, hi Jennifer. There's a ton of wholesome recipes, and when my kids were at home, I would make some hearty muffins for them to take with them, but they were full of whole grains and fiber and protein, and so and healthy fat. So they were walking out the door with something good, but it was a good convenience food, and I would just make a batch of them and I would put some in the freezer, and the night before I would take a couple out, put them in a Ziploc baggie so that they could grab and go. So that might be something you try as well. The other thing is, so overloading yourself on sugar, you're just setting yourself up to be hungry again, because you're just going to have this rebound and you're going to be hungry again. Another thing is that our bodies get really used to things, and our bodies like a routine. So one thing that might help is that you just get consistency with eating at the same time, and so having having random eating patterns, your body will want some routine. So it'll start to be hungry at this time, and then it knows to start to be hungry at this time if you're eating on a regular basis. Now, Diane's question, which I'm not going to go into much at all for this one because this is already getting long enough, but Diane's question is what about intermittent fasting and ketogenic diet? And I talked a little bit about some of that stuff, but not in detail, just some things to consider if you're doing that. But one of the things that, and I'm hoping that all 18 people that are in my group right now that just started yesterday are listening to this or watching this, because one of the main things I asked them, what does success look like this week for them as far as nutrition and their exercise? And so there's just whatever it is. And for some, it's making sure they work out each day, and just little things that after this week, what does success look like to you? And there were quite a few of them that the nighttime snacking was something that they're struggling with, and that's a very, very, very common thing. But one of the things about your nighttime snacking is that can really wreak havoc on you on a physiological basis. I mean, it can be over time damaging for what's happening. Your body doesn't need extra energy right now. You're going to go to sleep, and so what's it going to do with this food that's coming in, this energy that's coming in? What's it going to do with it? And so there are some negative things that happen there, but also depending on how late you're eating and what you're eating, that could trigger more hunger in the morning or later in the day. So but intermittent fasting is not a bad thing. Digestion is actually a very stressful, hard thing for your body to do. So if you're giving your body a break, and you want to try this, certainly not eating after 7 p.m. is a good idea. And some believe even earlier than that, but if you could just have a goal of, I'm done eating at 7, and then if you aren't much of a breakfast eater, that's fine. And if you waited until maybe 10 o'clock in the next day to have something to eat, then you might be able to eat something at 10 o'clock and then have a snack in the afternoon and then have your dinner in the evening. And so then you're eating less often. And if you went from 7 p.m. till 10 a.m., that's 15 hours of fasting. And that's not a bad thing for your body. That's something that I'm not saying, yeah, you should go do it. But you need to, people's bodies respond to different things. And so that's you asked, I answered. I went into great detail about breakfasts and good things and bad things and things to consider. And also a little bit about intermittent fasting. Hi, Jessica. Hi, Heather. Heather, I mentioned you, so you need to go back and listen to this. So I do hope this was helpful, and I would love for you to ask some questions. Start asking your questions in this comment section here so that I can add you to my list. And every Tuesday and Thursday, this is what I'm doing. So ask your question and I will answer. And if you think this is something that someone would benefit from, please share it. I'd love for you to share my stuff, and it means a lot to me. That's a hey, thumbs up. So thanks. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow with a tiny health tip.